Hello everybody, I am in Midtown Manhattan. The date is February 5th, 2020, 7:15 p.m. The temperature is 41 degrees Fahrenheit, that's 5 degrees Celsius. I just got off work. I'm in Bryant Park right now, right next to 42nd Street, and I'm gonna walk home to Astoria, Queens. How's it going, everybody? Little bit of a later start than usual, but better late than never, right? Better late than never. Robert, it's not that cold. I'm used to this already. It's 41 Fahrenheit, so anything above 40, I don't really consider it as cold. In fact, this is the, well, there was a statistic I read. We had the warmest January on record in New York City, and then in December it was actually warmer than average as well. I'm a little bit disappointed because I want the snow to come. Mauricio, I'm walking home. This is 42nd Street. Let's look up and admire the New York City skyscrapers. Right there is one of my favorite skyscrapers in the skyline, the Chrysler Building. This design in the Art Deco style. And look at this. If any of you are following the headlines in the news, what happened today definitely caused a stir in New York City. We're about to walk right past it. And I'm gonna walk right up to it. Donald Trump was acquitted of impeachment today by the Senate, so now there's a little kind of a protest going on, or a rally, I should say. Oh, Scotty, just some politics that happen in Washington, D.C. I try not to talk politics on this channel. Whether you like Donald Trump or you're against him or you're neutral, I don't want to talk about it here. That's for another channel. But this is Fifth Avenue. It's definitely very busy here. Well, new, I mentioned it, but I didn't dwell into it. It's what happened. I didn't say I'm for or against him. It's just what happened today. I just passed 43rd Street on 5th Avenue. JDS 10, yes, I am doing that. I'm walking to the Queensboro Bridge. Unless, I may have another idea too. I could take the Roosevelt Island Tram. I don't mind taking the tram. Just change it up a little bit. Yeah, no, I really hate how politics is dividing people. It shouldn't really be like that, you know? Just because you believe in something shouldn't make you an enemy of another person. It's really messed up. But this is the world we live in. Definitely a lot of traffic on Fifth Avenue. EMR, yes, I had a great day. Little bit long, but it was still a great day. Let's look up at some skyscrapers. Barnes & Noble booksellers across the streets. Wow, there's so much traffic here. I haven't really seen it this bad in a while. And this is the low season for tourists too. It's like bumper to bumper traffic on Fifth Avenue. It's not really cloudy out. There is some chance of rain later on, but that's been pushed back to about 9 o'clock p.m. at least. So about an hour and a half from now. Scotty Sachs Fifth Avenue is not here. It's across the street from Rockefeller Center, which is on 49th Street. Here is 47th Street, the Diamond District. If any of you are looking for a diamond or some jewelry, this is where you go. The Diamond District. Formerly used to be on Canal Street in Chinatown, but now it's here. Forward, I'm walking up Fifth Avenue. And then I'm going to go to Astoria, Queens. I think I'm going to take the Roosevelt Island Tram today. Change it up a little bit. Matt, I didn't really calculate that. On an average day, I think my average steps are at least 13 or 14,000 steps a day. That's a good question, and I don't really know why the Diamond District, the business moved up here. But my guess is that all the business was moving up to Midtown rather than lower Manhattan. So that's why the Diamond District moved up to 47th Street between 5th and 6th Avenues. Brooklyn, New York, I don't have a Fitbit. I just use my iPhone. Baking with Shan's asking where I see my channel in the next 5 to 10 years. Any tips for new YouTubers? That, I'm not really sure. Will YouTube even be around in 5 years? But, you know, I hope my channel will be more popular then. And you do have to create content on a regular basis. It's not easy to do. It also depends on my capability as well. That's why I always try to stay in good health and stay active every day and live a healthy life. That way I can continue making these videos and producing them. But maybe in 5 or 10 years, I'll have, 400,000 subscribers, 1 million subscribers. We will see. Who knows? Maybe Tesla will be the next YouTube in 5 to 10 years, with the way it's going. Divine Mother wants me to do a 360 video. Yeah, I've been thinking about doing another 360 video in New York. But until then, you can check some of my other 360 videos. I have a few from Times Square in Taiwan. I have some from the holidays. Anyone want to know where Saks Fifth Avenue is? It's right across the street. Someone asked me where it is, and it's right here. Jeffrey Torres is asking me what do I like most about New York City. The people. The people are so cool. There's such a huge variety of people here, different personalities, different things. Always something new in New York City. And who can pass Rockefeller Center without looking left? Chill and Explore saying greetings from Taiwan. Alright, you can check out Chill and Explore's channel as well. He does also some amazing Taiwan content. RJU Jones asking if for any rain videos I made in Taipei. Yes. I've done some live videos in the rain, and I did do one towards the end of my trip, which when I get to it I have to post on the Black and Shadow channel. Oh, thank you, Superstar. That was the St. Patrick's Cathedral, designed in the Gothic Revival style. Anthony is asking what's the best borough to stay in New York City. Let's see. It's very subjective. If you want convenience, then stay in Midtown Manhattan. If you want inexpensive, then you could stay in Staten Island, New Jersey. If you want food, I would recommend you stay in Queens because there's a lot of great food in Queens. Ashley's asking what other countries I've been to. I've been to Mexico, and I've been to Taiwan. And Montgomery. And Montgomery, thank you for the $20 super chat. You rule. Thank you, appreciate it. Thank you, Alex. Also, to the person who asked me about the borough, which borough is the best to stay in, the boroughs are so huge and vast as well. Like if you mention Manhattan, there's even some residential areas of Manhattan that aren't like Midtown Manhattan right here where all the skyscrapers are. At the very top of Manhattan, you have Inwood. There's Chinatown, which Chinatown is a up and coming place to stay now because there's a lot of hotels in Chinatown. I haven't checked the prices of hotels in Chinatown, but it is something to take a look into. Look at this. There's a New York taxi in New York City. They probably had to drop someone off in the city. Also, when the taxis, they travel from New Jersey to New York, you have to pay for their fare going back too. Going back over the river, both ways. So keep that in mind if you're hiring a taxi from Newark Airport to Manhattan. Oh, Ray, you're very welcome. I'm happy to be live streaming as well. Max Alamo asking if I'm going to the Avengers building platform. I haven't seen that movie, but I do know Avengers, they starred in the Hudson Yards vessel building, I think. Ray's asking when we get to see real life bus vaporization. I don't know, we may get to see one here. There's a few buses here already. Hey, M4 bus, vaporize this SUV. They're in the bus lane. No, it's not a bus lane, it's just a travel lane. Lost in the Curve is asking me if there's any plans for overseas travel this year. Paris, Berlin, London, Oslo, etc. I'm still deciding. Frogster Union Square is at the union of Broadway and 4th Avenue. Actually, Union Square was named after the union of Broadway and the Bowery. So that's why it's called Union Square. People think Union Square is named after the Civil War, the Union Army, stuff like that, but no, it's much simpler than that. However, this time, Union Square, there is no Bowery that runs through it. Now it's renamed 4th Avenue. Ray's asking any train action tonight. I won't be going to any trains today, but I will be taking the tram. I'm going to change it a little bit. I just walked past Let's Get Social Info's job, 53rd and 5th. That's a good question, Frogster, asking what is a Bowery. It's the name of a road in Lower Manhattan. But back in the day when the Dutch settled New York, it was called New Amsterdam, and they settled along the Bowery. And they placed farms there. Bowery has this reference to a Dutch word, which means farm. Yeah, B. Griffin, you're right. Peter Syverson did own a lot of property on the Bowery. And Shannon's asking me what's my best memory of living in New York City. I may have to think about that in a while. Probably all the different subways, all the subway incidents I've encountered. You never really know what you're gonna encounter when you ride the subway. Yeah, here comes the scaffolding, although this one looks a lot nicer than the usual ones. Yep, you can't have New York City without sirens. Here it comes. Sounds like an ambulance coming through. Here's 57th Street. Billionaires Row. Louis Vuitton across the street on the corner. Why the ambulance stop the siren? TBE is asking how much is a one bedroom. It depends what neighborhood, depends on the location. On average, a one bedroom is $2,000 a month in New York City. Adrian Tan is asking if I prefer transportation in New York City or Taiwan. Definitely New York City, because the subway system runs 24 hours and it also goes to a lot more places. In Taiwan, the metro system isn't even fully developed yet. What I care about in the transit system is for me to be able to get places. All right, we got the New York City Underground steam pipe. Polar Z Paw is asking what's the minimum wage there. I think the minimum wage now is 15 bucks an hour, I think. Fernando's asking how many blocks until the tram. Well, there's Madison Avenue, Park Avenue, 3rd Avenue, and 2nd Avenue. So that's 4 blocks. Oh wait, I forgot Lexington Avenue as well. So 5 blocks. But Madison Avenue and Lexington Avenues, they weren't part of the original New York City street grid. So those are kind of like half blocks. A full avenue would be between 5-minute walk. Those half avenues would be about 3 minutes walk in between. To walk between 2 avenues is the equivalent of walking 2 to 3 city blocks between the streets. Yes, I'm starting to go east now. This is 59th Street. Lost in the Curve is asking what's the street that goes under the building, or did you dream that? There's so many different streets that go on the buildings. Rockefeller Center, you have the underground passageway for the subway transfers. And also, the building to my left is the General Motors building. Formerly, the Apple store was on the first floor here. Yes, Catherine's saying a lot of garbage. This is how New York City does its garbage collection. They put the garbage curbside, and then the companies will collect it at a later date or later time. Portland, Miami's uncle used to work for Revlon in the GM building. That's awesome. Yes, Scott Briggs. I remember reading about that passageway. It was before my time, but that was a really extravagant underground system. You can walk all the way from 33rd to Broadway over to Penn Station. Yeah, Baking with Shannon saying Macy's is closing a lot of storefronts. I don't think it will affect the one in New York City on 6th Avenue and 34th Street though. That's their headquarters. The flagship store. What's the temperature here? It's 41 Fahrenheit, 4 or 5 degrees Celsius. Catherine's asking if we have a Nordstrom. Yes, there are Nordstroms here. Scott Briggs is asking me if I can dig it. Yes, I can dig it. That's from the Warriors movie. Such an iconic quote. Sandcorn is asking where the Woolworth building is. That is at the intersection of Broadway and Park Place in the Tribeca neighborhood of New York City. Here's Park Avenue. Cafe Logis. I have not been to the Tao restaurant. I'm not even familiar with it. It's the first time I heard of it. A lot of cars here on Park Avenue now. Frogster's asking if there's a homeless problem in New York City. Yes, there are. Or I should say, yes, there is. Income inequality is a very, very major issue here in New York City. Here we have Billionaires Row on 57th Street, and also we have people living below the poverty line. So that just goes to show you how New York City is a wide variety of people and income levels. Musa is asking how I manage all the long videos and live streams in my everyday life. Well, I just find time to do them. A lot of times too, when I make these videos, I'm off to go to a certain place anyway. Like right now, I'm gonna be going home anyway, so why not make a live video going home, right? I'm not really like spending extra time out of my way. It also helps to have a positive attitude and to just keep at the content. If you love what you do, then it doesn't really feel like work. So that's what keeps me motivated. San Diego is asking how much is the average one-bedroom apartment. $2,000 a month. Groovy Grandma is asking if I'm walking home from work every day. No, I don't. Not every day. LaSault Writer is asking if I visited the MoMA. Yes, I saw the MoMA on Saturday. It was my first time that I went to the MoMA ever since it renovated, and they did an excellent job with that building. Very nice exhibits now too. I just passed Lexington Avenue. Michael's asking when I'll do a Philly video again. If I ever find the time to go there, then I will. But seems most of my viewers want to see New York City content, so it keeps me going. I've noticed it also with my Taiwan videos. They're not nearly as popular as my New York City walking videos. But that's just how it is when you do a YouTube channel. Some videos are going to be more popular than others. Some settings will be, but you never really know what's going to get popular for the YouTube algorithm. Like over the past couple of months, a random video of a truck turning now has over 500,000 views. On my channel, and that was like, what? How did that happen? So, you know, I have the content up there. If it gets popular in the future, then I'll see what happens, you know? All right, here's 3rd Avenue. The time right now is 7:48 p.m. David is asking me if I will get something to eat on the way home. I'll probably get something close to where I live. Catherine's asking what's the #1 unspoken rule in New York City. I think on the subway is don't make eye contact. Johnny Mocha is asking how my battery doesn't run out. Well, helps that this iPhone is fully charged before I started the live, and I also have an external battery pack that I'm holding it up with. I mean, there's other live streamers too, especially on Twitch. They have a gun and run backpack. They'll do live streams for like 9 hours at a time, 10 hours at a time. What I'm doing is nothing. In fact, when I was in Taiwan, I did a 7.5 hour live stream, and that's the day when I officially reached 100,000 subscribers. Oh, Shannon, thank you very much. By doing these videos too, I'm also discovering a lot of new things about my city as well. All the little hustle and bustle and little things around, new places to eat. Delilah, there's going to be New Yorkers for Trump and New Yorkers against Trump and some people who are indifferent. That's the way it is. You can't say New Yorkers never for Trump. Oh wow, the whole time I thought I was walking on 59th Street, but I was walking on 58th. Here's the Ed Koch Queensboro Bridge, also colloquially known as the 59th Street Bridge or just the Queensboro Bridge. Let's see. Can I go to the tram this way? Tram entrance is here. If you couldn't tell, it's just a piece of paper taped to the construction plywood. Let's see, will I be able to make this tram? Oh, it just left. No. Oh well, I gotta wait for the next one. I think they come every like 5-10 minutes. Michael, I did not have dinner yet. I gotta wait for the next tram to come now. April for the $5 super chat. Any special uploads planned for Valentine's Day? No, I don't have any right now. It's a great view here overlooking the 59th Street Bridge ramp onto 2nd Avenue. Chill and explore. I use one phone for my lives. It's definitely a very beautiful view here. definitely a very beautiful view here. Very nice. Still waiting for a tram to come. Up is coming now, I see it. Look at all the people blocking the box. Here comes the tram. All right, let's get ready. Let's get ready. It's gonna be a little bit difficult for me to get my Metro card out because my hands are cold. Your finger dexterity really loses balance when that happens. All right. The tram's not free. It's $2.75. All right, everyone, just as a note, I'm going to keep my volume a little bit quiet during the tram, just because I want to be respectful of the other passengers as well. I do have to adjust my volume level and narration depending on the setting, so just keep that in mind. How cold is it now? It's 41 degrees Fahrenheit, 4 degrees Celsius. All right, the people are gonna disembark the tram now, and we're gonna get on. It's one of the best views of New York City you can get on the tram. So awesome. It's so awesome here. I'm just gonna keep the view here, and I'll try to keep my volume down so I'm considerate of the other people here. Roger, I've been to the top of the Empire State Building, but I have not live streamed it yet. Catherine, the usual tip is 18%. All right, we're taking off now. Doors are closing. Here we go. Yes, Waldo, I remember that scene from Spider-Man. Yeah, I always love this view. It's awesome. And there's only $2.75. Here's the other tram coming the other way. All right, the cable car is descending now. This is the East River here, below me. Foolhardy queso, I don't think it runs 24/7. Here we go. Ride's almost over. Fernando, I'm not sure if you could take the bike on the tram. Ryan, I will show the skyline once you get off the tram. Shannon, there's a couple ways. I can take the ferry, I can take the bus, I can swim, and I can walk, and I can call a car service. I can also ride a bike. All right, let's go. Good night. Okay, now I'm on Roosevelt Island, which is technically part of Manhattan, the borough of Manhattan. What's the weirdest thing I've seen on the metro train? They've got a few. Someone cutting their toenails, doing makeup, homeless people doing some unruly things. I've seen a rat on the subway before, the actual subway car. Here's the skyline, which I just came from. All right, folks, this is what you may see in movies. All right. That's enough of the skyline. Now let's make our way to the main avenue of Roosevelt Island. Red, white, and blue, it depends where I'm getting off from work. I'm not in one location all the time, so really depends. It also depends if I walk or take the subway or get a car service. So there isn't really any one answer I can give you on that. Well, B. Griffin, this is a walking video, and I wouldn't do this justice if I waited for the bus and took the bus over the bridge, right? That'll be cheating. So I'm gonna be walking over to Queens, which is that side over there. I've got a while to walk to get back to Queens. The camera's not on my head. I'm holding it at chest level. So the original name of this island was called Blackwell's Island. And then I think it became Welfare Island after that, because there were a lot of people that were put on this island under welfare. That's why it was called Welfare Island. And then it got renamed to Roosevelt Island. There is still a lot of income inequality on this island. It has been built up in recent years though, and it's turned into a trending neighborhood now, especially with all these high rises, its proximity to Manhattan, and also the transportation options. But one of my worst experiences here was during last year's Cherry Blossom Festival. The island was not prepared for the amount of visitors that would come to the festival. So as a result, the transportation options off and onto the island got completely swamped, and it was like chaos. I made a video of it trying to get off this island at that time, and it was crazy. There was like 2-hour waits for the tram. People couldn't get down to the F train subway because the escalators couldn't handle the amount of people. People were trying to get up, people were trying to go down. It was madness. And since this was an island, people had nowhere to go but just to wait. That was it. And there wasn't any way for the island to prepare for it. They didn't even have restrooms for everybody, so it was really bad. So keep in mind, if there's ever a large-scale event at Roosevelt Island, you have to be prepared for the chaos that ensues. Because even though there's a variety of transportation options, the tram, the ferry, the bus, when it comes down to it, there's only 3 ways off the island: by water, by land, which is one bridge, and what was the other one? By tram. And the tram, it can only come so frequently. Tim Southern is asking me if my feet ever hurt from walking so much. Not as much as they used to, but when I really started to do these long distance walks, I definitely get sore feet, but not often anymore. I'm used to it. But there was a day when I walked about 53,000 steps, give or take, in Taiwan, and I was really feeling my soreness the day after. I think that day I walked like 28 miles. So this is Roosevelt Island's Main Street. It's called Main Street. Good view of the skyline and the park behind me. Joe is asking how cars get out of the island. There's one bridge that comes on and off the island. It's called the Roosevelt Island Bridge. It connects 36th Avenue and Vernon Boulevard to Main Street in Roosevelt Island. And ages ago, there used to be an elevator from the Queensboro Bridge all the way down to this island. I don't know exactly why the city decommissioned that elevator from the bridge to the island, but that's what happened. JDS-10, they still do have the Q102 bus.
What? Nigga, I just got home. Can I eat first?
Tim Southern, I don't wear a pedometer. I only use the health app on my iPhone. I think it's pretty accurate already. I don't really see the need to buy a pedometer when the phone tracks all your steps anyway. Here's the island's grocery store. Oh, B. Griffin saying the elevator was unsafe and broke down a lot. Yeah, I can see why, because that's a long descent from the bridge down to the island, and they probably couldn't serve the frequency at the, of people coming to and from the island. Dave is asking if there's still the market in Bryant Park. No, it's all decommissioned now. Now it's just the ice skating rink. The Winter Village was really only for like November and December. Past like the first 2 weeks of January, it was no more. It's getting a little bit cold now. I'm holding the gimbal with the phone with my hands, bare hands. I'm not using any gloves, and I'm starting to feel it freeze up already. Final saying if I know that I can go to Philly cheaply by rail without taking Amtrak. I didn't know that. I thought Amtrak was the only option. That's Axel saying they take the Greyhound bus from New York City to Philly. There it is. Greyhound. I think there's also Peter Pan. I took Peter Pan last time. There's also a Chinatown bus as well. Baking with Shannon asking if I eat out often with all these good restaurants or cook at home. I do both. Today I don't really feel like cooking though. By the way, here's the Q102 bus. Someone was asking about it earlier. Jack Zwick is asking how am I getting off this island. I'm gonna jump in the river and start swimming across. That's how I'm gonna do it. And then my phone will probably stop working because it'll get water on it, and then you'll see me live streaming all the way down to the bottom of the river. And I'll still be trying to read these comments as I'm going down to the bottom of the river. You'll be asking me like, Action Kid, how far is it to your house? And I'll be like this. I'll be like, and that's the last you'll see of me, floating down the bottom of the river. And then you'll see a newspaper headline: "Idiot live streamer answers a question while sinking to the bottom of the East River in New York City." All right. So anyway, on a serious note, this is the entrance to the Roosevelt Island Bridge. Yeah, no, I wouldn't even imagine stepping foot in that river. It's probably like close to freezing in there. All right, here we go. So this is actually the entrance to the public parking lot as well, but you need to take this little area in order to get up to the bridge level. So this is how you get off Roosevelt Island, by walking. Too bad the escalator is broken, and why is there a random traffic cone in the middle of the escalator? Nice artwork here. Ray Smith is saying Liberty City. I remember playing that game, GTA 4. All right, so here we go. Roosevelt Island Bridge. Baking with Shan is asking how the dating scene is in New York City. It's different for each person, but I've been thinking about making a video about it, but I have to collect all my thoughts on that. No bicycles on the sidewalk. The bicycles need to ride on the roadway there. Vinyl fanboy, I do know about the subway system in Philly. And Joe, I do know to avoid the areas which I know will be dangerous or potentially dangerous. Still got a great view here of the city. Leif Erikson is asking, what about that assault? Well, New York City Police Department didn't respond to me on Twitter, so I guess that's just all that's gonna happen. Even though like thousands of people saw that video, it's still considered harassment and not assault. Feels much colder on this bridge. Portland, Miami saying bad luck, I didn't follow my own PSA. Well, I didn't really have a choice because when I was walking on 42nd Street, I watched the video, my replay of it, countless times. It was at an area where they were passing by immediately where the scaffolding gets narrow, so I couldn't really go around them, and it just happened in a split second. So they just timed it perfectly so I'd be there and then place the CD on my arm. I don't think they knew I was live streaming at the time. They just did it in a split second. Yeah, I did say hi to them because you don't know who they are. You only see them for like a few seconds. And then they just boxed me in against the scaffolding. I had no room to move around. They were walking 4 people abreast, so I didn't really have enough time to go around. And I didn't want any of that CD. I was like, no, here, have it back. I was like, no. And they refused to take it back, and unfortunately the CD dropped on the ground because he wouldn't take it. And what else was I gonna do? I was like, okay, you don't want to take it back, I'll just continue walking. And then this guy who had his back turned, well, his friend, I don't know, he had his back turned when the CD dropped. I guess he assumed that I dropped the CD, even though it was because this guy wouldn't take it, and it fell out of the sleeve because he wouldn't take it. Thought that the CD dropped on the ground, that I dropped it on purpose. He freaking slaps me. So that's my interpretation of it. And it was all there on live stream for everybody to see. You can review that. You can review that footage as many times as you want. Yeah, that's another thing too. They put the CD in between my jacket and my backpack strap, so I didn't even have a choice to take it or not. They just decided for me, and that's not right at all. There was one time where I did a 360 video through Times Square, where one of those CD hustlers, I was holding the 360 camera with both hands. They placed it on my jacket arm, and I kept walking, and it fell to the ground. I just continued walking. Like, he tried to place the CD on me, just like what happened on Saturday as well. I already know to ignore them because most of the time I'm not interested in what the what they have to offer. In fact, I'm not interested in what most people hand me on the streets. So anyway, I just walked over into Astoria, Queens. This is Vernon Boulevard. Well, Leif Erikson, people like to joke that it's a blank CD, but at the time when I intentionally got hustled, the CD had music on it. So it's not a scam, it's just aggressive sellers. It will be wrong to call it a scam. I mean, you don't know if it's a scam until you play the CD. If it's blank, then it's a scam. If it's not, then but the only thing you know for sure is that if you don't take the CD, then you're not interested in it. So that's fine. So Jet 2 is asking how much you're supposed to give them. I think they usually want like $20 for the CD. But you know, you shouldn't really feel obligated to pay money for something that you're not comfortable in purchasing. So I'll say it that much. Derek's asking who would want to walk over here. Action Kid would want to walk over here. That's who. Yeah, that's another thing too. CDs are so outdated. They should be passing out thumb drives, USB thumb drives. Say here. This is the updated 2020 version. Well, you know what you can do? The next time you go to Manhattan, go to a vintage electronics place, get a portable CD player, like those Walkman CDR players or whatever, and then the next time the CD guy hands you a CD, say, hey, you want this CD? I said, sure, but let me listen to it first. I want to take out my CD player, put the CD in the CD player, and then, oh, your music's fire. I'm gonna pay for the CD. And then if it's blank, then nope, I'm not buying your CD. That's all. Next time I should buy a CD player. So next time someone asks me, do you want a CD? I'm gonna say, yeah, I got a CD player right here. I'm living in the 90s. Wait, were CDs even around in the 90s, or was it like the early 2000s? I don't even remember. Oh yeah, that's right. CDs were back in the 90s because I remember installing Windows 98 on a CD. Man, that's really old. I loved Windows 98 also. B. Griffin, yes, this is Vernon Boulevard. This is Vernon Boulevard and 34th Avenue. And to the left here, this is Rainy Park. Alex Box saying time to boot up Half-Life 1. Oh, that game was so good. I remember that game. Costco's right up the block. Yes, this Costco wholesale is amazing. Also, if you want an inexpensive meal in New York City, go to the Costco food court. You can get a hot dog with a soda for $1.50. Dejet2 is asking if we can get a Costco tour. The last time I saw someone videoing inside Costco, the management asked them to leave, so I don't think they want that inside the store. But I won't be going inside Costco. I love Costco though. I heard that they never mark up their prices more than 15% above wholesale, what they get it for. The only thing is with Costco, you have to pay for the membership. I know a lot of people who live in New York City, they don't have a Costco membership, but they all know that one person who does, and they all like tag along that members like visit. They're like, oh, let me know the next time you're going to Costco so I can come with you, and like we can split the like the 50 pack of toilet paper, or you know, this oversized food that I'm not gonna eat. That's how people do it here. Here's the Noguchi Museum. Very good museum over here. I'm just saying, look behind me, all the YouTubers have been attacked while filming. Well, if that happens, they'll be on live stream, and I just checked behind me, there's a New York City Police Department vehicle there, so I doubt they're gonna try anything with a camera here, and also the New York City Police Department behind me waiting at that intersection, so let them try. And plus, there's a reason why I don't announce my live stream locations exactly where I am, so I doubt people will have enough time to get here. Yeah, people do find me, but you know, it's always good to ask in live stream if it's okay to meet up or not. As a live streamer too, I know there may be some instances where I'll get followed or people will just like wait ahead of me in order to like meet me, but you have to understand that people have their personal space as well. So just understand that this person's going through the red. Why? How much longer till home? I still have some shopping to do. What part of Queens is this? This is Vernon Boulevard and Broadway. David is asking if I meet new people through the live streams all the time. All right, let's cross the street. No cars are coming. Cafe Logos saying, I went to Sing Fu bubble tea. The bubbles were great and it wasn't too sweet. Yeah, I love their bubbles. Sing Fu Tang, their bubbles. The only thing is it's not that sweet. It's not like Tiger Sugar. It's more milky. That's what my my review of Sing Fu Tang was. Vinyl saying, have I downloaded the transit app on my phone? Yes. It's my #1 app that I use for checking subway status as well as bus stops and information in New York City. The transit app is awesome. And the great thing too is it's crowdsourced also. So if someone's on a bus route and they're using the transit app, if you're waiting further up, you can see the exact location of the bus because someone is using that app inside the bus. So amazing app to use in New York City. Amy J, the app is called Transit. I think it supports other cities as well. I haven't tried it in any other city other than New York though. RJU Jones asking if I ever run into anyone I used to go to school with. Sometimes. Jack saying it's crazy to think I have a higher chance of getting messed with in Midtown than places like this. Well, I wasn't kidding when people ask me about crime. They say, hey, what's the safest neighborhood? And I say, you have to keep aware of where you are all the time. But historically, the most dangerous neighborhood in New York City is Midtown Manhattan. Because people expect there to be greater safety in numbers, but because of the population density, that's what happens in Midtown. Vasco is saying, can I do more 360 videos? They're awesome. I definitely can. They're not as popular as my standard format videos, which is understandable because it can be quite overwhelming at times, but during special occasions I do. Like during the holidays, Times Square, crowded areas, the 360 videos are awesome. But they also take longer to process as well. 5.6K 360 video takes a long time. I have to transfer the files off the card, then I have to use the GoPro Max exporter to export it into Cineform 5.6K, and then I have to run it through Premiere again in order to stitch the files together. So there's a lot of work that goes into the 360 videos. Zach saying, when will the cycling videos come back? That I'm not sure yet.
You want to ride home?
Yep, Charlie Chan, you're correct about that. Extensive walks is good for the workout. Also, I'm making videos for YouTube, and then when people watch my videos, I earn some money from it. That's all what it's about, right? Living the New York lifestyle. Yo, man. I'm trying to cross the crosswalk, and this driver is inching up. There's Broadway and 21st Street. Where is this? This is the Broadway Shopping Center at 21st Street and Broadway. I actually need to go here because I need to do some shopping. I love this local grocery store, the City Fresh Market. It's open 24 hours. I'm gonna do some shopping here in this supermarket. I think I'm gonna end the live stream before I go in though, because I need all my hands in order to shop. It's gonna be hard to like carry around groceries with one hand holding the camera and the phone, and it's not gonna be good, but I'll at least let you see this market from the outside. It's nice in there. And let me walk around the other side too.
You exercise.
Oh no, there's like stuff in the way. You can't really see. I gotta lift up.
Good.
Oh, it's nice. Hopefully I could angle this down. Yeah, nice store. Anyway, I'm gonna get some groceries done and I'll see you all later. Thanks for joining in this long walk, and stay safe and good night everyone.